Yo, 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 let's get the business.
Oh, like a show.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
right.
Man, I'm not taking my All right, here we go. Yo, 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 let's get the business. Beautiful day today. I got a very brilliant guest today. What's going on? What's cracking like it?
Nothing much, man.
How you
Appreciate you having
How
me.
you been feeling, man?
Living the dream, man. One day at a time.
Man, putting that work in, ain't you?
Trying, just do what you can.
Because
Yeah.
I know you're extremely busy. Like, as long as I've known you, you've always put the work in. The consistency of your professionalism. You've always been highly classed, sharp as a sword with marketing, communication, and promotion. You're prestigious, highly educated, bright spirited, and fun to be around. Amazing to work with. Of course, inclusive, very considerate, stand-up guy, prolific. A long listed resume of top tier work proven in. So that's easy to see that you're like more than trustworthy. Your Instagram looks just off, just bananas. It's super professional, positive moves. The achievements, extremely helpful, impactful, empowering, uplifting. And you're very embraced and loved throughout the community, and you've earned that. Necessary implications provided to smoothly execute housing planning and most beneficial towards people's unique personal housing goals. So, please contact Ryan Wheeler if you have any questions, inquiries as far as housing, buying, selling, trading, building, advice, information. Please contact Ryan Wheeler for sure. He specializes in this field and he'll be more than happy to assist you and help you out. So, Ryan, what's popping with you, man?
Nothing much, man. I don't know if I can live up to that opening. I'm not sure, man. I don't know. And that's not me just being modest. No, I appreciate that, though.
No doubt. That's just, man, he's just being humble. You already know, man. Humble Ryan, no doubt. But I have to make sure I do it, right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Thank you, man.
Rightfully so, well deserved. Got to put the nice wordplay behind it. So
yeah, love it.
So for the people in the back, though, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Ratcliffe, man. I was an Army brat. I mean, I started on Fort Knox, and then we moved off post when I was probably like elementary school.
Word. I wasn't aware of that.
Ended up in Ratcliffe.
I think I met you in E-Town, huh?
I graduated, yeah. I graduated from North Hardin, and then I left, went to college, went to WKU in Bowling Green.
Word.
And then I ended up back in this area just because my wife is from here. So she's from E-Town.
Okay.
So met her. Family's from E-Town girl. So it obviously I landed back here. I didn't really expect to land back in Hardin County after college, but you go where your wife tells you to go.
Yeah.
Basically.
I was gonna say the wind blew you there, but now your wife's
wife and family. So she's got roots in the E-Town community. So that's where I live now, and that's kind of that's how I landed.
She's a true Etonian.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And you was a North Hardin Trojan. Word.
Yes, I was, man.
Played baseball when you went to North?
I did, yeah.
I figured you did. You got the baseball swagger.
Yeah, that's everybody said that, like, man, did you play baseball? And I'm like, yeah.
You have that charisma to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The sharp, sporty charisma. You know what I mean? So
I appreciate that.
So what was some of your early interests growing up in Ratcliffe?
Sports, man, like sports and friends. Mm-hmm. Like, most kids, that's probably my friend group pretty much was all from sports.
Athletes?
You know what I mean? Yeah, pretty much. So for the most part, man, like most of my friends played sports. Now, some of them, obviously, once you get to high school, you start to lose some interest in some of the other sports, and other things start to pop up, and you start spending your time elsewhere. But most of those friendships were from, when you're young, playing youth sports and things like that. So
absolutely.
I would say most of my interest up until probably like towards the end of high school definitely was all, focused on sports and, friends. But, back then, man, you didn't have the internet.
It was fun.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
you're right. A lot of relationships.
Just stomping the streets, man.
You're right. A bunch of relationships
everywhere. I can't even. I don't even want to know how many miles I logged on my bicycle.
Man, those times, man, we just get up and just take off walking and hop on the bikes.
Yes, man, you got a bike or a bike with pegs. Your friend's gonna ride on the pegs.
No doubt.
And it's like now, though, I feel like if parents see their kids like ride their bike if they ride off for like an hour or two, they're freaking out. They're calling the cops. You know what I mean?
No
we were
doubt.
gone probably from sun up to street lights on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they checking the ring cameras, everything. They're like, where my kiddo at?
Yeah,
but you're right. We used to get up and get out. You're right. A lot of these relationships that we built locally around the county and around the state, came through sports. We're down at the community center or down playing baseball. You know, we stay at the ballpark for hours and hours. So that's interesting, man.
For sure.
So when did you first figure out you wanted to step into the almighty world of real estate?
Well, I got into it's mortgages technically, but obviously it's you know set up with the real estate world. So,
mortgages. Okay.
So I'm in the mortgage business technically, right?
Okay.
It's still the real estate business though,
right.
You know, ultimately, right? It's a means to an end. And people will say, oh my God, mortgages, this is going to be horrible. I don't want to listen to any of this stuff. But, you know, when it comes to the mortgage industry, it is a necessary piece to purchasing a home, right? And owning real estate and owning your own home, or if you're an investor, like most people can't buy a home in cash, right? But I got into the industry, I get probably like a couple years right out of college, man. I had a buddy who was in the industry. He said, I honestly, when I first got into this industry was 2005. That was about a year after, actually that was about a year after I graduated college, WKU.
The Hilltoppers.
Yes, sir. So 1 year out, I had a friend said, hey man, I'm in this industry. It's more, I'm like, I don't even know how to spell mortgage. Like what is it? I don't even know what that is. You know what I mean? Like, I had no clue, man. My dad, because he was military, moved around a lot. You know what I mean?
Word.
So he honestly, and he didn't know the world of finance either. So he didn't buy a house until he basically was already retired from the military. You know what I mean? So we didn't own a home most of my childhood until I was like a senior in high school, I think. And I just didn't know anything about it. Didn't really know what a mortgage. I kind of had an idea, didn't know. But I had a friend was in the industry in Louisville. He said, "Hey man, it's interesting. It's very complex." He said it's fun though because it's always something new. It's real estate. People are buying homes. It's just it kind of had. At first, you know, from the real estate perspective, man, there is something, I don't know what it is about real estate with us and maybe just humans in general. Like it does have a little bit of a sexy appeal to it. You know what I mean? That's why you got all these shows about real estate.
It's very intriguing.
Yeah, it is. And I really don't know what the human psychology aspect of that is, but he said, hey man, this isn't real estate per se, but this is finance, right? Like this is getting people home loans to be able to buy a home. So like you're an intricate part of this deal, right?
So this is more of the economic side.
Yeah, exactly.
The finance.
Right. And I've always been fascinated with finance. And in college, I studied finance, economics, marketing, all that stuff, business in general. But so it's always been interesting to me. And honestly, I kind of always wanted to get into finance. And this was kind of like a step into that. So I got into the world, and the thing that I realized that like in my industry, man, that sets you apart is it's the person who can communicate that information to somebody the best is normally who's going to be the best at their job.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
we was going to get into that because you are absolutely fit for that position.
Yeah.
Like it's obvious. I studied you. You put out great content.
Yes.
You said that's interesting. You said you enjoyed the spontaneous nature of the career. That's one of my later questions. But yeah, you definitely are meant and built for this because you have proven it through your content, through the way you promote yourself.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. I mean, people, you're transparent. You're easy to understand. Your communication skills are clear.
Yeah.
So that all plays a part, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm trying to accomplish because I know when I first got into the industry, I did not own a home, right? And so like it was kind of weird. I was doing mortgages for people that, to buy a home and trying to explain this process to them, and I knew it inside and out. I didn't even own a home myself. Right, so I was like, I need to own a home. Like I have to be part of this process and transaction, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I was like, you realize real quick. Now doing it, you realize how complex it is, but even being involved in it, even though I knew what I was doing, you realize the complexity of it. And most people, the average person, if you're a first time home buyer, man, it is a very scary thing. The whole process, you know what I mean? Because you're like, man, what if I make the wrong? People are so worried about making a mistake. And so I'm like, I got to figure out a way that I can communicate this information to people and make it easy and digestible for them. So that's not the hurdle. Most people say, you know what, this is too daunting. I don't even want to try to do it. So they don't even own a home for 10 more years until they finally say, all right, I guess I'm going to be an adult now and try to buy a house. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's just because they're scared, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's because nobody's helped communicate the right information to them and to make it easy to understand. And make it less scary. Yes. So I was like, man, this is what I got to do. I got to figure out a way that I can help communicate this to people and make it, you know, reduce the amount of stress and anxiety and scariness and dauntingness that people have about, you know, buying a house and in this transaction, you know. And so that ultimately, man, was what drew me to this. And so, you know, that's the aspect I love.
You were doing your job. You were playing your part like tremendously. Like you said, breaking it down to the T. Becoming extremely transparent.
The transparency part, man, that is so major for me because it's kind of it can be like anything financial related, man.
Yes.
You can deal with a lot of shady people.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the world they love to be in.
I started with at a big company out of Louisville, and I'm not going to name any names, but it was big. So, of course, any big company, you're going to have people who probably are not like the best people, right? Like in terms of they don't have people's best interest at heart. And I worked with a lot of those people, man. And then I've seen on the other side other people in our industry and just the way the industry as a whole, like there is a lot of shadiness in our industry, man.
And that's that word, industry.
When
you look at all these other different industries, I'm pretty sure you'll find some similar individuals.
Especially when you start talking about finance.
Oh yeah.
And you know, the thing is, man, like you can be shady or kind of sketchy or just let's just call it, and shady might sound like somebody's doing something illegal. The thing is, in my industry, you can do things that aren't necessarily illegal, but they're not in the person's best interest either. You know what I'm saying?
So it's grimy and greasy.
Yeah, exactly.
It don't have to be legal.
It's kind of like the car industry sometimes, right? Like, I'm not going to throw car dudes under the bus.
That's a good example, though. Yeah.
You know, I mean, and I know we probably get likened to that industry sometimes.
So you had to learn the game.
Yeah.
So did that throw you off like tremendously?
Yes.
It was an early surprise.
Yes.
You're like, whoa, was that a shock?
It was a shock, man. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I can be associated with this unless there's a right way to do this. And then I quickly learned like, okay, there's a right way you can do this. You can do this with transparency. What sucks though, man, is like sometimes, like let's say I'm working with a client and that client's talking to other people, you know, that do what I do, other mortgage brokers and lenders, right? They might be talking to somebody who is a little sketchy and telling them one thing, giving them a little lip service, and I'm trying to be transparent. I'll lose deals over that because they don't know. You know what I mean? Right. So they're just like, well, I'm gonna go with this guy because this guy's saying this thing and that thing. And of course, it doesn't materialize. But when you're buying a house, it's a 3, 4, 5 week process sometimes, right? When you're that deep involved in the process. And somebody's already got their hooks in you at that point. You can't change. You're just going to be disappointed at the end.
Yes.
You can't make any you can't pivot at that point and say, oh man, Ryan was right.
Throughout the process.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, so that still exists. And it's just like, so the transparency does bite me sometimes, but like, that's just, I'm going to operate that way. And I was like, man, if I can use social media to make that transparent. So, you know, over the years, you know, you lose, but I'm like, if I can start doing content now with social media and use that as a business medium to say, hey, if I can show people my transparency, show the world, like this is, you know, I'm going to show you everything. Like I'm going to tell you everything behind the scenes.
And it's working in your favor. Your personality is meant for this.
Yeah. I appreciate that, man.
No doubt. You provide amazing content. Your Instagram's flooded, but not only are you transparent and clear and all those good things, but you implement professional tools, tricks, ways to budget and save, buy houses without selling yours, mortgage truths. What's that? You mentioned house rich versus cash poor. You know what I mean? Banking intellect, buying and selling. You know, these methods and two house tango, all these different wordings, phrases, these quotes. You know, those come from your creative space.
Yes,
you know what I mean? And this is all helping you out tremendously. So I feel like it's working and you should just keep on eating away.
Yeah, that's the plan, man. Yeah. Keep on cooking and just try to help as many people. And what I've really focused on here lately, just from providing this, is, you know, what I realized, man, like if you see some of the data about first-time home buyers now are almost, I think it's scaled back a little bit, but like for a point last year, it was like 40 years old. That's the average first-time home buyer. It's scaled back to like 38 now. But if you rewind like 30 years ago, it was like low 20s or something. It's like, so it's went up, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so what this tells you is younger people, some people will say, well, it's the affordability issue, and that could be it too. And some people say, well, people
economy,
economy, or people don't start family. Like normally, a lot of people won't buy a house until you start a family or something. You have some kids, and I get that, but I think another factor that adds into this is the like when you think about the real estate buying process, man, it's dealing with, I won't say necessarily people dealing with shady people, but like just the complexity of it, and people are scared to make a bad decision, and they don't have somebody that's in the industry that they feel they can trust as transparent, that is going to not just say, you know, it's always a good time to buy, or you should be buying, or like, you know what I mean? That's not going to give them straightforward. And I know people look at me like, Ryan, you always say it's a good time to buy. And I'm like, actually, I don't, man. Like if you look at, there are people, I'll tell you straight up, like if your situation is not ready, now the market doesn't dictate when you buy. I think your situation does, you know what I mean? Like
definitely situational,
you know? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so I think that younger people, so my focus was, okay, if I can communicate to young people to get them out of their own head about this being too complex, and don't get me wrong, I won't say get out of their head, because it is a complex process.
So, you feel like there's a perception versus reality balance.
There you go. Perfect.
There you go.
Yeah, nailed it. Yeah,
that's big nowadays. Yeah. I mean, you have media, you have tons of resources. Some are even proven to be, trustworthy or 100% genuine, and then you have social, like you said, you have all these different sources of information too. So there's a lot to play a factor in this, but that's totally understandable, the way people perceive things. Yeah, absolutely, man. And perception is reality, right? And so if people are thinking, oh man, this is complex, because and the reason I started to, I mean, it is probably 15 years ago, honestly, when I started to realize this. 10, 15 years ago, I would talk to younger buyers after I would have a couple conversations with them. They're like, man, I didn't know that this was going to be this easy, or I didn't realize, like, I'm glad I talked to you, man, because all these years I kind of thought this was like not possible, or I just thought this was like, it was just something I pushed aside because I thought, man, this is going to be too hard. Like too much to it. I don't want to think about it. This is going to break my brain. You know what I mean? Like, and well point. That's a very good point, because it can look complicated outside looking in. If I wasn't in the industry, I would think the same thing, man. And so I'm like, dude, we got to break down these walls. Like, how do we break these walls down, create this transparency, communicate a complex process, which that's what I said. I'm not going to downplay the process. It is complex, but that's why it's important to have professionals to help that can communicate, take that complex process and communicate that to you, and help you navigate that. Yes. You know what I mean? To make a decision. And not only that, proof is in the pudding, because they could look and see your further work and notice, oh, absolutely, you've helped so many people out. Yes. Their situations and your resources is valid. Yep. Yeah. For sure, man. No Absolutely. Doubt. Yeah. So the community's grown rapidly within the last 5 years. How's that affected the market or the trajectory of the mortgage thing? I tell people, like, real estate and mortgage, like, we'll just call it real estate in general. Yeah. We're very insulated in Hardin County. I think some people don't understand how lucky we are sometimes. And what I mean by that is we have things like Fort Knox. We have all this other industry. And I know everybody is all up in arms about the Blue Oval thing. And don't get me wrong, that kind of stinks a little bit, but we're still solid as a rock as a community, right. Economically. That's the biggest miss I've seen around here. So absolutely. That's not saying, no, I know it affected those, the individuals, now we're involved, the families. We made choice. Like, I know some people made a move to go with them, and that does, you make that move. That's backbreaking. Yeah, that is for sure. Yeah. But for the most part, as a community, we've got Fort Knox. But now I will say, man, without Fort Knox, like, Hardin County would probably be struggling. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's man, it is a backbone economic structure. Yes, it is, man. And so what that does is, you've got people constantly coming in and out of Fort Knox, moving here. They buy a home, live for several years, turn around, leave, sell that home. It keeps the market moving. Yes. And so it always keeps a consistent demand. 100%. You know what I mean? You've always got this level of demand and inventory, which is homes for sale, always people looking to buy. And so when you have people buying and selling homes consistently, it keeps a market a little more stable versus having these huge, big spikes like some of these places like Florida and California that they go through, just due to their environment. So, like, our market tends to be a lot more stable in our area, in our community. And
that to me, that's better. Like, I don't want to. We did have big spikes in COVID.
Keeps you busy.
Yeah, absolutely. It keeps me busy too. Yeah,
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, what I tell people is like, man, because and when I say insulated, people are like, what do you mean insulated? I'm like, this means like because constantly homes are buying and selling, you're not going to see homes have dramatic drops in home value. So I think this is like when people after COVID, this is people's biggest scare. Like, I'm going to buy a house, and all of a sudden it's going to be worth 20% less than what I paid for it. That's what I'm freaking out about, Ryan. Right. I'm like, man, I get where you would think that, but like the housing market isn't necessarily like the stock market. It doesn't ripple in waves like that. It's based on supply and demand.
So the way you visualize it, it's more of a consistent, consistent bubble evolution.
Yeah, it's just constantly growing, and it's not like we don't have these big spikes except for COVID. I'll tell you, I make that disclaimer.
That was anywhere.
You take
every four corners of the earth.
You take COVID out. We've got we got small amounts of growth, 3 to 5% every year max. There's no going down. It's just it's not a big jump. It's just steady and stable. And so we're not like a lot of these. So when you see this news right now, like the market's crashing, like, man, if you go to YouTube and like, it's like all doom and
that's
doom.
where that perception kicks in.
Yes, it's exactly. Man.
And there's thousands of people on there.
Yes. Telling you that the market's crashing, the market's crashing, the market's crashing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, like what I try to tell people is, real estate is hyper local, man. You know what I mean? Like, we can use, and don't get me wrong, I'll use national stats sometimes for some of the content stuff that I do, but for the most part, real estate is hyper local. So if somebody says, hey, nationally, this is the numbers, you got to say, okay, well, what are the numbers here in Hardin County, right? Or Central Kentucky, or just Kentucky even, you know what I mean?
Because for one, markets are local.
Right.
And for two, the economy is structured differently.
Yes.
And geographically, it's different,
100%. Right? Yeah. Think about California, man. Like,
that's the first place I thought of was Cali.
They had a huge spike, and then all of a sudden COVID and some of their laws got a little intense. So I think people just wanted to move out, or a lot of people relocated. They had a big migration from California. I'm sure the cost of living too. And you're like, man, if I got a remote job and I don't have to be at my job, I could just go live in Kentucky and make the same income and have a lower cost of living. And so you saw a lot of
those fires were interesting too.
Yeah, that too, man. That
was wet out west.
Yes, all of that. So you imagine, think about that, man. Like all of, these things cause a disruption in your market. And then if you've got a lot of people moving all at once, now you got all these homes for sale, and you don't have new buyers moving into the market to buy those homes for sale. Right. Guess what? Those homes are going to sit. Now you've got all these homes on the market and you don't have enough buyers to buy them. Home prices are going to have to come down, right?
To get them going.
Exactly. So this is why you start to see markets like California, Florida, these kind of places start to, because they had these huge swings in increase, but now they don't have buyers to buy these homes. We don't really have that here in our market because of what we explained earlier. And so going back to what I say, we're kind of insulated from that. This is why real estate is hyper local. So when people say the market's crashing, what I want people to understand is, man, when people say that, they're making a broad term about the whole national market. Right. You know what I mean?
They're making a general statement.
A general statement, man. Yeah. And that is not how it works with real estate.
It's more so fluctuating.
Yeah. I mean, but the fluctuation doesn't necessarily mean in a downturn.
Negative. It doesn't necessarily mean negative.
It could just mean, okay, we may grow. Let's say this year, home prices might, go up 2%. Well, next year might be 3%. Next year might be 4%. Then the year after that might be 2%.
Absolutely.
But we don't really see the downtrends in our market in Hardin County, man. So we're kind of lucky with that. So I think that people,
that's awesome.
I want people in Kentucky that buy homes to understand, like, man, you don't really have that. That should not be a major concern. But check this out, man. Here's something from my own personal story. I got in the business in 2005. Bought a house shortly after in 2006. And have you heard of a thing called the Great Financial Crisis in 2008?
08.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's kind of a thing. Even if you're in your 20s, you're probably like, man, I wasn't even born or whatever.
You're right, though. When it hits national.
Yeah.
And everybody's just like, they're looking up at it.
Yeah.
It strikes a nerve of panic.
Oh, absolutely. And don't get me wrong, like in our area, we did see, it was the only time I think in our area we actually had like a small decline. The worst financial crisis since the Great Depression. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I bought my house in 2006. 2008 happened.
Wow.
And I still sold my house. Now, it was a long time, but let's say 2018. So I eventually sold my house in 2018 and I made money on it.
Wow.
So do you see what I'm saying? What I try to tell people is, if you keep it long enough, you're still going to be able to sell it and make money on it.
Still value in it.
Yeah,
it's like a truck.
Right.
So, and you seen people seen the sleepy market, you seen the open market.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's sometimes it's how you perceive it.
Yeah. And the thing is, man, with real estate, like if you hang on, it's kind of like, for the most part, it's like stocks though too, man. If you hold on to something long, you don't sell. Like, if I would have sold my house, let's say in 2000, I bought my house in 06, 2008, the market dipped a little bit. Let's say I sold my house in 08. I might have sold it for less than what I bought for it at that time, right?
Yeah, because
but I didn't. I didn't sell it in 2018.
Out of desperation.
Yeah, exactly.
It would have been all that decision making.
Exactly.
Thousands.
But instead, I held on to it and I sold it and I still made money. So what I tell people is, you don't lose money unless you sell the thing. Yeah. You know,
unless you make that move that's going to be detrimental
during that down period. And to me, the 08 thing, anyways, man, it was like a freak anomaly, and we can't. That would have to be a whole nother podcast, man.
Yeah, because that's super interesting, that subject matter. Because at the time of the COVID stuff going on, I took time to pause.
Yeah.
And to analyze.
Yeah.
And to understand it wasn't the end of the world.
Right.
But there was just a lot of information.
Yes.
Floating around that could easily confuse anyone.
Who do I trust?
Yeah. A bunch of that.
Yeah.
And I think the main thing was market economic growth and jobs.
Absolutely.
It was crazy though. So
I mean, you don't know, like, oh man, all these companies are they going to start shutting down? Am I going to have a job? Yeah. Yeah. And that's, to me, this is kind of going back to with real estate. So imagine during COVID at first, that hits you, right? Let's say you got a job and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, the economy is about to lock up. Does this mean my company? And some companies did, dude. They start laying people off.
Yes.
So imagine, like, you're thinking that your job's on the chopping block. Are you going to want to buy a house at that point?
Right.
Absolutely not. And if you ask me, I'm in the business. I only make money when you close on a house, right? That's when I get paid. When you buy a house, that's actually when I'm
when you seal the deal. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you told me in that situation, Ryan, I'm worried about my job, man. I don't know. You think I should buy a house? I would say, hell no, man.
Hell to the no, not right now.
Right. Exactly.
For sure.
That's what, like, I would give somebody that cold hard advice. Like, dude, if you don't feel good about your job, don't put yourself, because then you're going to buy a house. You're going to have this house payment. You lose your job. Now you're going to feel stuck and be like, dude, I'm stuck. I can't make this house payment. You see what I'm saying?
And then if you tell them more than once, they start to raise eyebrows. Like, okay, now you're watching my money.
Yeah.
Now you're watching my
Exactly.
No, I'm just trying to give you good professional advice.
Right.
And the information, you have the education to back up this thing. So
exactly. And that's what, so like, when people say, well, yeah, you're in mortgage and real estate, you're going to tell everybody it's a good time to buy a house. And I'm like, if you're financially secure, there are a few things. You're financially secure. You feel like you got a good job. You feel like you're going to be in the same area for maybe, let's say, 5 years is a guarantee.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
If you know you're going to be stationary.
Yeah.
Why not own something?
Yeah. If you're going to be, but if you're like, man, what I tell people, if you're like, I don't feel real good about my job. I'm a little nervous about that. Then I might say, hey man, maybe you need to wait till you feel a little secure before you buy a house. You know what I mean? If you feel insecure about your job, if you might say, hey man, next year I might up and move to California. My man, you probably don't want to buy a house this year. You want to wait and figure that out for yourself. You know what I mean? And if you're like, hey man, my money's not right, I got no savings, I might say, man, you might want to wait till you save a little bit. You know what I mean?
So would you feel like the upkeep of a home, maintenance, things of that nature, do you feel like that's another fear that people are like, oh, I'm afraid to get into that? I don't know any maintenance man. I don't have any handy dandy skills. You know what I mean, to fix anything.
That could definitely, I think, hold somebody back for sure, man. And when you're dealing in our industry, people can put people in contact with those professionals that can help you with that. But I think the expense factor could play in.
Okay.
And so this, like people may say, oh man, I have to hire a contractor to fix these things because I don't know how to do this. This is going to cost me money. And I tell people, yes, that is an expense that you got to be prepared for. Right. Yeah. And some people will tell you like, hey, probably these are weird rule of thumbs. I don't necessarily say I believe in this per se, but it's a good place to start if you're not good at saving money. Like if you own a house, if you buy a $300,000 house, that your maintenance could be 1% of that house per year. So you might need to save up $3,000, have $3,000 saved just in case something goes wrong. Right?
Yes.
So that's kind of an easy rule of thumb. But here's the thing, man. Here's what I also tell, because people, I think the biggest, like, we get a lot of shit. Can I cuss on this?
Man, what? Work.
we get a lot of shit in our industry, rightfully so. Like mortgage and real estate people, because people say, well, y'all always say it's a good time to buy. So you'll kind of hear me keep repeating this thing, because I think people come across with commission breath is what it's called. Right? Like, you just trying to make money. You tell me it's a good time to buy. But I'm going to tell you, man.
Corporate pitch.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm going to tell you, like, if let's say you're retired, right? You're on a fixed income. Right, you got Social Security or a pension or something like that, and you don't own a home now. Like some of those older, that you got a real low rent locked in with a landlord, and people, I'll get those people coming to me like, Ryan, I think I want to buy a house now. I'm like, why, man? You got a fixed income. You know what I mean? Like at that point in life,
you give good advice all the time.
Like,
not only that, you're well connected, so
yeah.
If you need some maintenance or things of that nature, something gets fixed, I'm sure you can shoot them in the right direction.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. But there are situations, think about it. If you're on a fixed income, you buy this house, and then all of a sudden you got some stuff goes wrong. You may not have the extra money that you can save because now you've bought this home. Because, I tell people, man, like owning a home is not cheaper than renting. But what you're buying is ownership in that house and equity over time, right? Like,
so it's more valuable.
Yeah. Like if I buy that house 10 years later, I can sell that house. I'm going to make money on the sale of that house, and I'm going to make more than what I actually paid for it, which is going to be a profit. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so the money that I paid, even if I pay an interest on a mortgage, your rent is 100% interest. So it's like, it's the same thing. Like, hey, I've got a place, I'm paying for it. The interest you have to kind of look at, that's kind of rent because it is interest on a house, but the equity is you paying the loan off, and the market. No matter if you do anything to a house, your house will be worth more next year than what it is this year.
That's interesting.
Period.
The value will only go up. The equity.
It's called appreciation. Yeah, man. So, and basically it's just inflation.
What is a big element that could decline the value of property? Like the quickest?
Really, it would have to be a major market event, meaning you would have to have a lot of people sell their house or foreclose or something like that all at once. It's kind of what happened in 2008, all at once, to where you created way more homes for sale than what buyers are buying.
So
right?
Just blew up.
Like in our area, the best thing would be, the best probably way to look at this would be if they just shut down Fort Knox tomorrow, and then like three of the biggest employer factories in E-Town all closed in the same month. Right. If all those things happen, we'd be in some shit. Yeah, we'd be in some shit,
Go
right?
down.
Because you'd have all these people lose their jobs.
Absolutely.
And all of a sudden they're like, they probably ain't got enough money saved.
Price is definitely coming down.
Right.
For sure.
Because what's going to happen is they're all going to have to, some of them are going to foreclose. They're going to try to hang on. They're going to get foreclosed on. Some of them are going to, a lot of people are going to say, hey, we got to sell our house like now before it forecloses so we can at least make money on it. That's the difference of now in 08 though. In 08, imagine you lose your job, you can't pay your mortgage, but your house is worth less than what you owe on it. You're just going, here's the keys, right? That's what people do with cars, right? Like they just give the keys up. But what's different now, what people don't understand with market crashes, imagine you got a house now, it's worth 300,000, you paid 200,000 for it, but you lost your job and you can't make your payment anymore.
Right.
You're going to do everything you can to sell that damn house,
get that
right? For the market price. You're not going to foreclose on it, right? You're not going to, if the bank takes it back, you lose all that equity. You know what I mean? But you got 100 grand. So that's the difference now than what it was in 2008. 2008, nobody had equity. Now everybody's got equity in their home. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's because of COVID. And so like these are, but what would happen, the only way that would cause a market decline, to answer your question, is you would have to have all these people say, we're all selling our house all at once. And now you've got a flood of homes for sale on the market. And you do not have near enough buyers to buy it. Now we're kind of in a little bit of a buyer's market. Well, I wanted to call it that until this year kicked off. And now we've got multiple offers on houses.
Now it's booming.
Yeah, which is crazy. Like I thought this year, okay, the market's going to be a little bit slower. It's not, there's not going to be a downturn. It's just going to be slower, which means you got more sellers and you got buyers, which means buyers have more leverage. And think about it, if you're a buyer and you've got 3 homes to choose from, whereas during COVID, it was like for every home, there was 20 buyers trying to make offers on it. You're going to bid the price up. So this is why homes are worth more, is because you got 10 people making an offer on one house. Whereas now you got 1 buyer to every 3 homes, right? Or something
regardless
like that.
of location.
Right. Yeah. And so that is the only thing that could cause a downturn specifically in our market, is if a lot of homes went up for sale all at once and you just did not have new buyers to come in to make offers. Because think about it, if I'm a buyer and there's 5 homes for sale that I can choose from, you all are going to have to earn my business, like as a buyer, right? Just think of it from general economics, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to say, hey man, I'm not going to pay you full price for your house. Hey, well, how much? I might go make offers on all these houses, and whoever's going to give me the best deal. And that might mean all of them are going to have to reduce the price that they're selling their home from, right? And so this is what causes and so now it becomes a race to okay, we got to cut our price. We got to cut our price. So sellers start having to reduce their price. This is what causes home prices to go down ultimately.
Or a catastrophic event.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
Kind of like Hurricane Katrina or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a crazy storm. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say. And that kind of stuff, man, would ultimately still be like, that'd be like kind of resulting in job loss, right? Like people would probably have to lose their jobs, or maybe a business gets.
If it's that big, then more than the market's affected.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it'd just be a major thing.
Yeah. So those are like big. They're just big anomalies, man. That's why I tell people, like, you're thinking of, like, people start talking about the market's crashing over buy house. Yeah,
far fetched.
It's like, dude, you're way overthinking this stuff, man. You know what I mean? So, and the thing is, what people don't understand, like, let's assume the market did have a small downturn and went down. I just gave you the example of my situation. I'm like, dude, just don't sell the house. Keep living there. Well, what if I got to move? Rent it out. Have somebody else
play the game.
Yeah,
play the game.
Rent it out.
Get
wait
value.
Till the market if the market goes down a little bit, wait. Just hang on to it for 10 years. Convert it to a rental.
I think that's where education comes in.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's 100%. Where people have to be careful of where they're getting their advice from, where they're getting their information from.
Because clickbait, man, they want clickbait is all about negativity.
And I think it's tougher because now you have a lot more people trying to be independent entrepreneurs, business people, and they don't want to get super close to people.
No.
But they want to stay.
They want the attention.
Yeah, just enough, close enough to where you can get interest and attention. So I think that separation of information is where people kind of
and the attention whores on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
All they do is negativity. And don't get me wrong, man. Like, I'll see them and I watch them because I'll watch the video too. So I'm when it says 1 million views, and I'm like, let me click on this because I want to know what they're saying. And while I'm watching it, I'm like, nope, that's wrong.
Yep.
I'm taking notes because I'm like, I'm picking it apart.
You're like, nah, that's not real.
Yeah,
that's
and I'm
not
like,
valid.
I gotta get out there and dispute this information somehow with somebody. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's why everybody needs to see your Instagram.
Yeah, man.
Because really, you break down pointers and all kinds of good stuff, man.
Yeah, appreciate that, man.
It's on point. What about different career fields? If you weren't to land in this situation that you're in now, which is very beneficial for you, and you're wearing it.
Yeah.
Lovely. What do you feel like you could have landed the plane elsewhere? Man,
that is a great question. I do think about that sometimes randomly, especially as I get older. I'm like, man, what else would I have got into?
Because you're multidimensional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Man, I feel like somehow I still get drawn to the world of finance a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. Maybe it's just like an inner nerd or something in me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it would have necessarily been in real estate per se, but it would probably been something finance related.
Numbers.
Yeah, I think so.
Were you good at math in school?
Man, I was decent. I wasn't the best though.
Yeah.
I was decent. I was good enough to figure. Yeah. But again, this is where, like, I know people in my industry, like in other states. Just I'm in organizations, man, like trade organizations and with people in other states, and some of these people are probably way better with numbers than what I am. But the problem is they can't communicate that stuff.
I think you can
to the average person. You know,
man, that's a very good point. I think
that's where the difference, man.
You accelerating that in that area.
Yeah, and I think that is huge with what we do, man. Like this guy, if he had to like try to crunch some statistics, like for some insurance company or something, like this guy over here is probably going to be your guy. I'm not your guy because that would bore me to death, right? I like the finance world, but I also like to be able to figure out how can I communicate this to the average person too. Because I'm not like, I'm a nerd, but I'm not like ultra smart to where I could just focus on the numbers and never talk to people kind of thing.
Your nerdism comes from the education.
Yes, right.
But you're very loose with your communication and you're down to earth, you're cool.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You're laid back. So
I've got like one foot in both of those worlds. You know what I'm saying?
It's a good balance.
And that's why, so it's like, man, I feel like I would have probably still landed in something finance. The thing is, like, I've been in the inner workings of some of these like finance worlds and like, you know, you see stuff like especially big city finance, like New York and that kind of finance, high finance, like Wall Street stuff.
Firms and
that
agencies.
Stuff kind of grosses me out a little bit, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like,
a little too uptight for you?
Yeah, I think so, man. I can't be in the. I'm not a banker type.
Right, you don't want to wear your pants too tight every day.
I can't. Yeah, I don't want to be a banker type. I don't.
You more khakis than slacks?
Can't really do anything.
Neither one. I know what you mean. Though.
Yeah.
I feel you.
You know what I mean?
You can pull up in some basketball shorts and let's get it done.
And I feel like sometimes I did wear that stuff when I was younger. Like I'm not, I wore a suit and stuff when I was younger. But I think it's just when you're younger, you're like, man, if I'm in finance, I need people to take me seriously, right? Yeah. Like I'm younger already. Are they going to take me seriously? They don't know me from anybody. But now I'm more comfortable. I'm like, dude, I've established my knowledge base. Like I can just be myself. I can dress how I dress every single day, and that's how I go to work. I don't have to put a suit and tie on.
No doubt.
If that's not me, it's not me. And that's kind of like, I'm like, dude, I'm going to dress how I want to dress.
Yeah, you know that comfortability and unapologetic, man.
Yeah.
That's why you're able to put out the content you do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've come to realize that me just doing what I'm doing right now, communication, podcast, embroidery, whatever I do, the communication, it's like the skill set is one thing, but are people willing and do they feel comfortable? Just simply being on camera, just having a conversation with people. I realize that is not everyone's cup of tea.
No, it's not, man. And it's still a skill. Don't get me wrong. Like, some people it may come natural, but it's still a skill to be honed and learned, what I mean? Just like anything else. So no, you're right, man. I mean, it is like the communication, but like that to me in this world, man, like,
you need it.
You got to have it, man. Yes. Like there's so many complex aspects of life and just having somebody. I mean, think about stuff that we probably, especially when you start thinking about social media, all the stuff we consume now, like whatever you're interested in, man, whether it be like health and fitness stuff or like, I don't know, like, finance stuff, military stuff, history, just content, media, whatever, like, there's somebody you can find online who has gotten really good at being able to deliver you that information, articulate that and help you understand if you're somebody who's new to it, you know what I mean, and don't have a lot of in-depth knowledge. And that so that you've got these specialists, I'm into like the whole space stuff too. It's way over my head.
So social media presence is important to you, and I can see your page is growing, and it's definitely helping.
And I think, and when we say social media, like I want people to understand, like it's not just. I think social media has just become the medium because it's easier to do, right? Like at the end of the day, it's just communication.
Yeah, just period.
And you're like, what can I do? What is it? And to me, it's like, well, social media is free, right? For people, if you own a business or you have like some special knowledge about something, like it's just an easy way to get, you don't have to like have some fancy, like production company, or you don't have to go through some like major company to get your message out there, or hire some ad agency, thousands, you know what I'm saying?
Because you're right, because regardless of
democratize communication and information, man.
Independent.
Like, really,
and like you said, regardless of what lane you're in. You could be doing painting, or anything. It's just the communication is very, very important.
Because think about this, man. You got somebody like Rocket Mortgage, right? Everybody knows. They're a household name now, right? Rocket Mortgage.
Rocket Mortgage.
Everybody knows who Rocket. That technically is a competitor of mine, right? They're technically a competitor. Everybody knows. They spend hundreds of millions of dollars a month on marketing and advertising, on ads, on online.
But we're cutting corners.
Yeah, exactly.
The new media man.
Exactly.
That's how I like to call it.
Exactly. So you know what I mean? Like to me, it's just I use social media and my platform to communicate that to in my focus. So I'm not trying to get my message is mostly to my community, people. And when I say community, I probably am saying Kentucky, you know what I mean? And as a whole, but even hyper local, we could even say Hardin County, but people in Kentucky, people that I want to do business with, I don't need to be seen or by other people in other states. I mean, if they get something from it, that's great.
They consume it directly.
Yeah, exactly. My ultimately though, I'm trying to communicate to people in my community, and I can use social media to do that and be transparent and see like, hey man, I'm a human. I'm not this big marketing machine that is Rocket Mortgage that's going to chew you up and spit you out and try to take full advantage and take every dollar out of your pocket if they can, because they will.
And they sell that pitch.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And so, so they're spending all that money. I can leverage social media, or let's call it business media, for, to communicate my message and to see my authenticity, I guess.
Absolutely. You probably were great at it even before you stepped into the playing field.
Yeah.
It's usually what it is.
Yeah.
Because you're too good at it.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Too sharp at it. So.
Well, when I would have conversations with people, I'd be like, damn, how can I wish I could have that conversation and bottle that up to help somebody else.
Right.
Because I was like, man, that I want other people to hear how we just converse, and that message that was just relayed to this specific person. So I'm like, how do I get this one to many versus one to one? You know what I mean?
Right.
And so that was at the end of the day, man, that was what it's all about. It's
helping
like, dude,
people.
I want to be able to
spreading it out,
get this message out, help people, and communicate that in a clear, concise, easy to understand way.
Absolutely, man.
And we're all goldfish now, so like people are like, well, man, how you gonna do that in 60 seconds? I'm like, I don't know, but I got to figure it out because we're all goldfish now. You know what I mean? Like our attention spans are so small.
You're scrolling and soaking up all this information.
Yeah, so it's like, all right, I got to be able to get this out in a short window of time, if possible.
So what's a mistake you often see from first-time homeowners? And
a big mistake that I see a lot of them, but a big mistake that I think I see people make is a real big one is probably the down payment aspect of buying a house is, for the most part, like I see a lot of people, they'll save up for years, and like there's still a huge myth that you need this huge down payment to buy a house, right? And so what the big mistake that they'll save up all this money to buy a house, and they'll want to use it all to purchase they'll want to put it all down on the home, and then they get into the house and they have no money left over, right? They've sunk. So what I tell people is, man, like, what if we could do a smaller amount, the minimum amount that you need,
right?
And then save the rest of that money.
Budget.
Or just put it back in your savings, right? Because what's going to make you sleep better at night? Having that money tied up in the equity of your home. Because think about it, if you put all that money down in your house, is it going to make your payment a little bit lower? But it's going to be marginal. Every $10,000 you put extra on a house, it's going to change your payment about $60 a month.
Especially early, right? When you want to put more money in it later.
Yeah. You can, as you're making
to increase the value.
Yeah, you can put money down as you're making payments every single month.
Yeah.
But if you take all your life savings and dump every single dollar into it, what if you have an emergency? What if you just need some new tires and you need to buy some furniture?
So pump the brakes a little bit. Don't go all the way in.
Exactly. And people want to put all that. They're like, Ryan, I've done a good job. I've saved all this money. I want to put it all into the house because we want the lowest payment possible.
But make it make sense. Why would you spend all your chicken and then be in an empty house with no furniture?
And you got no savings. You got no emergency fund.
Right.
Now you got to spend the next couple years trying to save back up, and I'm like, dude, what if something happens in that window of time?
Anything can happen.
So I think that's probably one of the big mistakes. And when I have that conversation with people, most of them are like, oh, hell yeah. Like, that makes total sense.
Oh, yeah.
The logic kicks in.
All you have to do is speak to a professional like you or somebody that's experienced, you know?
Yes.
Your water heater could just pop.
Yeah, exactly. There's some people in my industry, though, they're a bit of what we just joke and call like order takers. Like somebody will say, they'll just do whatever the person tells them and they'll offer no additional advice beyond it. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, yep, I'll take that. Boom. And give them no other help. It's like you go to a restaurant, man, like so you want maybe the server to say, oh, this is good or that's good or whatever. You should try this or that. Like when you do that, you feel like you're having a better experience, right? Whereas if they just, what do you want? All right, great.
Zero suggestions, zero pointers.
Yes. You're just like, okay, like you're not unhappy about the situation, but like you're like, man, that but you didn't have a great, like it wasn't a superior experience. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I'm like, man, if I'm doing this thing, I better be able to give people advice in certain ways. But that's probably one of the biggest mistakes.
Because your selflessness and you take the initiative. Everybody doesn't do that, but that's also something that separates you apart. And that may be why you're so successful. One of the reasons.
Yeah.
Because the willingness, the consideration.
Yeah.
So one of your favorite places to travel when you're not hustling and bustling?
Man, we went to Italy a couple years, or last year.
Oh, I bet that's nice. I've been wanting to hit Italy up.
But we went a few years, but beyond that, we went to Portugal. I took my family to Portugal. So
food
that
great.
Was insane. Portugal,
the scenery,
really cool. Yeah, and it's not near. Italy is very expensive. Man. Like
guaranteed.
Yeah, Portugal, not. It's like
Nice.
Not even as close to as expensive.
Word.
Because it's like most people like especially Americans and stuff, they all want to go to Italy. It's got like it's got that thing to it, right? It's got that aura to it. Whereas Portugal really doesn't have that same aura. So like they're like trying to encourage travel and like just
you're right.
Like you can go there and travel, but the scenery is it's incredible, man.
You're right. It looks like a special place, but Portugal, you're saying that is
Portugal, special. Yeah, it is, man. It's special. Yeah.
Was you up in the mountain somewhere?
We went through all of it. So we rented a car. I rented a car and we drove. Like we flew in up, on the northern part of the country on the coast, rented a car, and then just drove from town to town all the way down to the bottom, basically.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we stay like a night or two in one place in an Airbnb, and then drive to the next town, staying there for a couple nights, explore the town, and then to the next night. You know what I mean? And just kept hitting different spots, different towns, man. So it was cool.
That's nice, man. Big shout out to Portugal.
Yeah, no doubt. It was cool, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. There are times I'm like, dude, I would probably move to Portugal. Like,
no doubt.
Cool.
How was the weather when you went? Pretty good
it
too?
was unbelievable. Yeah,
no doubt.
I'm sure we probably went at the best weather time.
Blue water.
We did, but so there may be times where it probably gets hot or cold or something.
I guarantee
we went at the best time. So
nice. So let me put you in this fun, interesting scenario.
Yeah.
Okay, you're building your own real estate agency or your mortgage agency from the ground up independently.
Yep.
Who are your first 2 hires of employment?
Oh, you need help for sure. Yeah, and I've got a small team. I've only got 2 other people. It's just me and 2 people.
The cohesiveness is there.
Yeah. So, but you need help very quickly. Now, initially, you're going to have to wear a lot of hats. I've got an assistant, and then I've got somebody that we refer to as a processor or a loan partner. They handle a lot of the paperwork, the clerical stuff. And then my assistant, she's just, an executive assistant, just helps me keep it all together. Basically. Big shout out to the organizer.
Yes, there you go.
And don't get me wrong, you could operate doing what I do by yourself, and a lot of people do. But it is. You feel like an octopus at all times. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Jack of all trades.
And that will wear on you real quick.
Absolutely. You get overwhelmed.
Yeah, you'll get burnt out.
You have your own office space?
Yes, I do. Yep, in E-Town. Yep.
Okay, sure. Nice. That's always helps with the space.
Yeah.
Spacing is key.
Yeah, and you can do my job remotely, man. Like a lot of people do. A lot of people work remote. They have a team, other people on their team that are remote. But I think once you can start in my industry, you can get going maybe if you start the first couple years, you probably don't need help because you don't have enough business to support the help, but you are still wearing a lot of hats to try to get yourself to that point to where it's like, okay, now I got to go on, and you think you're not going to be financially ready to hire help, but you need to do it anyways.
Absolutely.
Because that person helping you is going to give you so much more quality of life. And then you're going to be able to do more of the things that you do well, you know what I mean? Which is talk to more clients. So if I'm doing clerical stuff, other things, that's maybe I need to be on the phone with a client explaining something. Well, maybe that gets pushed to tomorrow or pushed down the road. And then you know what I'm saying?
Timing.
And so now I'm doing things I shouldn't be doing when I should be talking to a client, doing the things that I do well. Well, if you hire help, they can do the clerical stuff that has to get done so deals can close. Right. And then you can do the things that you do well.
But see, even this info is beneficial because a lot of people feel like they can do it all themselves.
Yeah.
And they're a little nuts about that.
Oh,
teamwork makes a dream work. Yeah. 96 bulls.
And most entrepreneurs, I will say, they don't think anybody will do it as good as them.
Right. That sense of pride.
That is a mindset. Yeah. And it is a real thing, but you got to let go of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That sense of pride just sits in for a second.
Yeah.
You got to really get away from that.
Yeah, you do. And I've heard other very successful entrepreneurs say that man, if somebody can do it as 80% as good as you, then that's good enough. And
there you go.
And some entrepreneurs be like, oh, hell no. They got to do it.
I'm good on that.
Letting it go. You know
that's a D-. But I'm good. I take that to get some breathing room, some oxygen.
Yes. Because it allows you to scale. It allows you to have a quality of life.
Absolutely. Quality of life.
This business, man, there are times where you feel like it is, it's sun up to sundown, so you gotta figure out your ways that you can, separate that. You'll have clients texting you at 10 o'clock at night, asking a random question,
Do you get a lot of rest? You rest properly?
Oh yeah. I do now. I didn't initially though. The first probably 10 years of this industry, I was a workaholic. Yeah,
absolutely,
big time, man. And it ran me ragged.
I remember you working on the house, so it was close to high school, maybe.
Yeah. We're right by E-Town High School.
Mm-hmm. Nice house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So coffee or cappuccino or neither?
All of the above. Yeah.
Give me all that.
Yeah, all the
You
above.
said give me every last one. Your lattes, your espresso.
I'll drink them all, bro. I'll drink them all.
No doubt. Sure. No energy drink though, right? None of that stuff.
Man, I actually did stumble on a good energy drink.
Make you crash?
No, it is the best energy drink, and I highly recommend it. I am totally anti. I'm kind of like a health fitness nut now.
Ooh, put me on. So is it kind of the healthy one?
This is a good one. Yeah. It's called Gorilla Mind.
Word.
So Gorilla Mind, they make it. It's a big can. It looks like a can of Monster, but it's got real quality ingredients. Yeah, the ingredients are good. The taste is actually good too. But it is a very good product. It is the only energy drink I think I've ever like recommended to somebody.
Oh, okay.
Now that
if you say it, I'm gonna check it out.
This is fire. Yeah, so
no doubt.
Gorilla Mind is the only one that I would.
Ooh, Gorilla Mind. Hey, well noted. Mentally note right there. Yeah, you got a lot of sugar in it.
None.
Yeah. Zero?
There might be like 1 gram or something. Yeah. Maybe 1 or 2 grams, but very minimal. That's huge.
Some good sugars?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, the other stuff, like all the ingredient, the alpha, like I'll start naming all this weird people out by giving all the ingredients. But all the ingredients, man, will have your brain firing on all cylinders.
It sounds like a focus drink.
Yeah. It is really good, man. I probably should drink one before I came on this podcast. I had one earlier today before I walked my dogs.
Word?
And so as soon as I drank it, I was like, damn, I should have waited to drink this before I got on the podcast. Because I drank it, started walking I took my dogs for like an hour walk, and my mind was just, I had all these ideas and thoughts, and I'm like, oh man, my mind's
alertness.
Right now. Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna try that out.
In a good way though. You don't feel like a crackhead or something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, some of those make you feel like weird. You know what I mean? This, you feel like you're sharp. Clear,
that's cool, bro. That sounds like a go.
Yeah.
For sure.
It would be a good podcast drink for sure.
I'm interested in it. Highly alert.
Clicking. Yeah.
Yep. Nice. I'm a creative person too, so I like to feel like that.
Yeah. Because if you get too amped up, it crushes all your creativity.
It does.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're so hyper focused, you're like, all right, I just got to be doing spreadsheets or something. Because if you drink too much of that, man, and get all caffeinated and all cracked out, you're just like,
you crash.
Or you lose. I feel like you lose all your creativity.
Right.
I do. Like, I start to hyper focus on things, and I'm like, this is not what I'm looking for. I want to have that flow state, man, where I'm focused, but I'm also free still.
Smooth
my mind,
feeling.
Yeah, ideas can flow in and out.
There you go.
So.
I like to feel like that too.
Yes.
So how many emails and alarms what are you working with?
Oh my God, emails! Asked my assistant is she's in my email now because she has to help wrangle it basically.
So she orchestrates.
She's trying majority of it. She gets rid of the stuff she knows doesn't need to be.
That sounds
there
like a winner.
Focus it down, to drill it down for me to where I just need to look at, because I mean hundreds a day.
Yeah,
hundreds a day, man.
Wow.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yo.
And, don't get me wrong, man. Probably like 80% of it is probably not like urgent or necessary, but some of it might need to be read, but not like urgency.
But then you got all the junk mail.
So yes.
I've learned about emails. You got to go to all mail. You have to press that. Yeah. Because some of the mail hides.
Yes, they put it in folders.
Camouflage mail. Yes. I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
It away and folders. Oh, I know, dude. Yeah, I do a lot. I do a lot of email, but I do like email. It's a great. We use it on a regular basis, so it's easier to organize too. I tell clients like, hey, I will use a lot of email in this process because I feel like it's going to be easier for you to. Sometimes with text, man, stuff will start to get lost in the thread. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then you're like, oh yeah, I think he said, I don't know. Like, and then it's like you're buried in this long thread, and it's just like emails. I don't know why they just seem to be easier.
And then having to pick up your phone device all the time, you kind of can refrain from that.
Yeah,
you check the email later, right?
Yes, you have to block your time. Yeah. Like, you have to block your time because, like, I'll get the amount of calls I get too and texts, and they're like, "Hey man, I called you, you didn't answer." I'm like, "Bro, you got a text or I was on the phone with somebody." Right. Like, I don't just sit around waiting for you to call. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I'm probably on the phone. Yeah. If I don't answer, like, I probably got imagine I'm doing it Sunday, maybe not so much, but like, let's say we were doing this on a weekday. I probably get a couple phone calls, and then I might call them afterwards, be like, hey, I tried to call you. You know,
Word.
like they're like upset or something. I'm like, bro, like I was.
It
like,
wasn't the time
I was like, yes. Exactly. I'm like, man, I'm probably talking to somebody, dude. Like,
Back like they were stranded at the bus stop or something. You just left them.
I have those conversations happen to me on the regular.
It happens to me too. People get, especially friends, you know, they get kind of, they get in their feelings a little bit sometimes.
Man. It's like, dude, come
shockingly,
on, yes, I know. Like, dude, did you leave me a voicemail? No. Did you leave me a text? No. What are we talking about?
Then you try to get a hold of them. They're nowhere there. Timbuktu somewhere.
Yeah, they're like, no, I needed you for that moment. Now that I don't need you anymore.
Yeah, it's different now.
Yeah, I was like, what? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. That's hilarious, though.